Are you someone that feels nervous and doubtful whenever a challenge comes up? You feel yourself climbing up, you talk your way out of it, and you don't want to do it anymore. You find that this is really starting to impact your life. You want to progress in your career, you want to lose weight, you want to get strong, you want to be good at something, but yet that voice in your head talks you out of it every single time, and you're really starting to get frustrated with yourself. Well, if this sounds familiar, don't worry, because I suffer with the exact same issues. And then what I did was I worked on myself, I built myself a blueprint, and since doing this, I've gone from volatile relationships to a nice, happy, healthy, long-term relationship. I've moved from dreaming to do creative endeavors to having written 17 books, a couple of which are now bestsellers, and becoming financially independent. And I'm now in the best shape of my life. In fact, this t-shirt is from when I ran my first ultra marathon. By the way, I'd never ran a marathon prior to this, I just went straight in and did the ultra. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact blueprint that I followed, which I now teach people in my Reclaim Life community to stop being somebody who wants to do something great and become a person who does great things. And if this sounds interesting, there is a 7-day free course in a link of this video. So when it comes to leveling up and building self-confidence and self-efficacy in ourselves, we need to look at this in 4 parts. And we're going to quickly go through each one of them. The first one is evidence. The flip side of confidence is self-doubt. We may feel confident and that we want to do something, but then self-doubt can kick in. We need to find a way of reducing the self-doubt so that we can bolster up the confidence. And how we do that is through evidence. The evidence of things we have already done, the evidence of times we have overcame some adversity, evidence which is undeniable and that nobody can take away from us. Now you may be sitting here watching this and going, well, I haven't done anything, so I fail straight away. That is not true. Evidence doesn't have to be anything major. Evidence can be you got a good grade in school. Evidence could be you went to that job interview and you actually landed the job. Evidence can be well, you've managed to hold down a relationship for the past 12 months. Evidence can be anything. It doesn't have to be award-winning or medal earning. It can simply be that each day you turn up, you do your best, and then we build from there. So the first thing we need to do is we need to look at evidence. Now, one thing what I teach people inside my community, people that want to work with me, is get a minimum non-negotiable, which you do every single day. And that is then your benchmark for, I can do this over here because I did this over here. One easy way to do this is quite simply in the morning, make your bed. Making your bed sounds very trivial, but it's the starting block at the start of your day, which then can compound over time. If we, every day when we get up, we make our bed, we know that we have at least achieved one thing that day. And psychologically, it puts an end to our rest because we're saying goodbye to rest and sleep, and it allows us psychologically to be ready to take on challenges. So making your bed may seem very trivial, but it is a tick in the box of that day to show that you have got evidence that you can go on and do something else. You've made your bed this morning, you've said goodbye to sleep and rest, now you're ready for action. Now, let's go forward through the day, let's build the evidence of things which we can do, and when the challenge arises or something happens and it makes us feel anxious that we have to take action, we know that, well, this morning I got up and I made my bed. And I've done that for the past month, I've done that for the past week, I've done that for the past 6 months every single day. So if I can commit to doing that every single day, then that will then give me the confidence to now go and go for this promotion, to now go and speak to that person that I want to go to the gym for the first time, or to sign up for that 5K run. The best part about evidence, you have achieved that goal and you have achieved that metric, and nobody can ever take it away from you. And we build up enough of these small wins, eventually, compounding, they become massive. The next step in leveling up and supporting our future and building confidence is emulation. Okay, quite simply, what does emulation mean? Emulation basically means find other people who you want to be like. So for example, if you want to start going to the gym, you may have friends, people just like you, who go to the gym and take care of themselves. You may have work colleagues that are doing really well with a side business and they're building up slowly in the background. You may have a colleague that you look up to. You may have a sibling. You may be a celebrity or a role model or a podcast host or even a YouTuber. Hey, there we go. Through emulation, we can see that other people around us are doing the exact same thing that we want to do. We know it's possible because if this person over here is doing it and they're just like me, then that means I can do it too. So build evidence and surround yourself with people who are doing the thing that you want to do, and the closer to you that they are, the better it is, because there's less barriers in the way. We can't use the excuse of, well, I don't have the resources or the money or the upbringing. We can go, well, they're from a council estate, or they've had the same upbringing as me, or they went to the same school and they're doing what I want to do. So surely I can do what I want to do, because the evidence is there that it's possible. The third one is community. Community is incredibly important because it means that we are not walking alone. The lone wolf sounds really, really cool. It sounds great. Yes, I'm the lone wolf. I go against the world on my own. However, in reality, the lone wolf dies pretty quickly because it doesn't have a community of other wolves just like it supporting and helping each other. Nobody built a skyscraper on their own. Nobody built a great empire on their own. It was done in collaboration with other people who shared the same goal and shared the same values. So if you want to build a life which you're proud of and you find other people who are doing the same thing, then it would make sense to spend more time with those people because they want what's best for you. You can get advice from them, you can get support from them, you can get encouragement from those people, and eventually you can get to where you want to be because you are surrounding yourself with people who are doing the thing that you want to do. They say that you are the sum of the 5 most people that you spend time with. So if you spend time with a lot of people who go out drinking all the time, they work dead-end jobs, they have very little ambition, very little confidence, then naturally we are going to adopt some of those behaviours. And in the digital age of YouTube and podcasts, we can now actually look at maybe you're also the sum cost of the 5 most lots of content you enjoy, the 5 most lots of online personalities that you consume. So maybe if you don't have a lot of people around you in the immediacy who want to build and become the kind of person that you want to be, we can look at online platforms, we can look at self-improvement YouTube channels, we can look at business podcasts, we can look at people who we look up to and we want to emulate and become like as a way of building that community. But if you want to be surrounded by an online community, people who are there purposely to champion you and look after you, and who are all on their own journey of building self-confidence, building evidence, emulating other people around them, and a community which cheers and supports other people on, as well as me being in there too, giving resources, giving advice and giving support for people on their own personal journey of self-improvement and reclaiming their life, then you can join the Reclaim Life community now. You get a 2-week free trial. Link is in the description of this video. And lastly, we have friction. Friction is that voice in your head that tells you that you can't do something. Friction is the stress you feel when you attempt something and it doesn't go to plan. It's managing failure, it's managing stress, it's managing anxiety. And there are a few different ways that we can do this. The first one is the worst case scenario. Think, what is the worst thing that can possibly happen if I try and do this? Okay, if I go for that job interview, I might not get the job and I have to keep on doing the job I'm currently doing. So the worst case scenario is nothing changes. But when we flip it, we can say, well, we went for the job interview, we put ourselves out there and gave it a go. That then gives us more evidence that we can do things. We attempted it, whereas before we wouldn't have done, but we have attempted it this time. So rather than looking at the worst case scenario, what if I don't get it? You can say, well, okay, I just continue doing what I'm doing right now, and now I have more evidence to show that I'm able to step out my comfort zone and I'm able to go and do the thing. The same can go for if you ask out a partner. If you see somebody and you ask them out, the worst case scenario is that they say no, maybe they laugh at you a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's humiliating and nobody wants to be humiliated. But that also builds evidence in yourself that you can go over to the next person and you can speak to them because you've already done it the first time, therefore the second time is much easier. You ask enough people out, you'll get better at it, you'll get better at talking to people, you'll eventually find somebody who you can then go on a date with, and you never know what could happen from there. But if you never ask that first person out, you would never meet that person who you eventually end up with. So we can ask ourselves a worst case scenario, but by doing so we also build evidence of confidence. Well, friction, we also have to ask ourselves something else. So this is your brain. I was never known for my art skills in school, so you have to excuse the disgustingly terrible drawing. But this is our brain, and when a situation happens, it creates a loop in our mind. Take the dating thing, for example. There's a person over there who you find attractive and you'd like to speak to. This will then play in your brain over and over again. This then will create an open loop because we haven't resolved it. By leaving this loop open, we then create rumination. We go over things over and over in our heads. What if I go over? What if she says no? What if she says yes, but then I'll feel embarrassed? But what about this? What about that? The girl may then walk away and you lose the opportunity to speak to her, for example, of which then the loop can no longer be closed, and you will always doubt yourself as to whether you should have gone over or not, because you never closed the loop. You never actually took the action to then go and speak to the person. And this can be quite agonizing. So friction can cause more pain down the line in order to avoid the initial pain of going over and speaking to somebody or completing the task. So we have a choice to make when it comes to friction. Either we can move forward and we can take the chance and speak to the person, I'll do the thing, and therefore we close the loop and we come to a resolution because we know what the outcome would be as we've taken the action, or we can avoid the short-term pain of the anxiety, the humiliation, the embarrassment, whatever the situation may be, and then we will punish ourselves further on down the line because we have not closed the loop for that action to be completed. So this is the thing when it comes to friction. We move away from doing the thing in order to protect ourselves, but in the long term, we actually harm ourselves more. So now I'm going to give you a very simple technique which you can do to create activation energy to then go and do the thing. Okay, so it's very simple. It's called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go rule. Super simple this. Rather than sitting there frozen in space, thinking, do I go to the gym? Do I speak to this person? Do I go and speak to my boss about a potential pay rise? Do I put in my application for that job interview? We go, I'm going to count to 5, and then on go, I move. This creates activation energy. It's also a great way of getting up first thing in the morning rather than pressing your snooze alarm, which again can then create further evidence that you are a person that does things. So something's in front of you, a situation's occurred, we are terrified by fear, but we can feel that loop open in our head, we can feel the rumination coming, you are surrounded by people who are telling you, look, just do it, just go for it, do it. You made the bed this morning and you've done that for the past 6 months. So now you can go and do this, okay? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, move. It creates activation energy, it breaks that stutter, it breaks that pause, which can cause fear, which keeps us stuck. So there you have it, the blueprint to building self-confidence and self-efficacy to upgrade yourself. If you like this sort of content and you want to dive in deeper, you can join the Reclaim Life community. You can join our 30-day challenge, which is there for people who join the community. You get a 14-day free trial. So click the link in the description of this video and I will see you in there. Now, if you're a person who feels that they're doing everything right, but yet they're still not satisfied and they're still not happy, then I made this video right here to systematically, brutally, honestly look at your life and dissect and determine what is potentially holding you back. So give it a click and I'll catch you in the next one.